Adama Traore, a footballer who's known to be the size of an absolute beast, and for also having so much oil on him, I'm surprised that the US hasn't quite invaded him yet. But of course, looking at the Spanish international, he's just had his second ever debut for FC Barcelona, 7 years after leaving his boyhood club, getting an assist in a 4-2 win versus Atletico Madrid. I think it's fair to say that his second start at FC Barcelona, it started off pretty well. But of course, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, we're going to be looking at where that starting 11 has gone from his first ever debut at FC Barcelona 9 years ago in 2013 in a 4-0 win versus Granada. Obviously 9 years ago, that is a lot of time to pass, and obviously, as we know, that was kind of an era where Barcelona had a fantastic squad. So it's going to be interesting to see where that squad from 9 years ago is today. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, of course, starting off between the posts, in Adama Traore's first ever game for FC Barcelona, we've got a man by the name of Jose Pinto, seen by many as a cult hero at Barcelona. Although his 6 years at the club, he was kind of seen as a second choice option to Victor Valdez, still won countless trophies and spent 20 years of his career playing in La Liga, which, just to put that into perspective, I'm 20 years old. That's my entire life playing football in La Liga. But of course, won countless trophies, as I said, with Barcelona, and the year after Adama Traore's debut in 2014, he retired from football as a whole. Now, 46 years old, Pinto has been seen back in Barcelona working on his music and as a fitness instructor. Groovy.
Groovy, baby!
In the right-back position from Adama Traore's first ever debut, we've got a man by the name of Martin Montoya, who definitely wins the award for the name I would like most out of any other player in this squad. But of course, looking at Martin Montoya, currently 30 years old, playing for Real Betis, what an incredible career this player has had. He's played for the likes of Valencia, obviously Barcelona, Inter Milan and Brighton in the Premier League. In fact, his Premier League debut for Brighton was in a 3-2 win versus Manchester United, in which he played the entire 90 minutes. Martin Montoya, although you ain't no Dani Alves, pretty decent career. Our first centre-back in the squad is going to be our second Real Betis player in the squad, as it is going to be Marc Bartra, the 31-year-old centre-back, who unfortunately maybe the most iconic moment of his career was being part of that famous Gareth Bale goal versus Barcelona. Yeah, kind of tricky to live a moment like that down. But despite that, Marc Bartra has had an absolutely incredible career, having 6 seasons at Barcelona, having 2 seasons at Borussia Dortmund, has had over 100 appearances for Real Betis. Obviously, maybe he didn't quite shine like most people thought he would in his career, especially after winning the Under-21 championship with Spain as a youngster. But despite that, still an absolutely brilliant centre-back, and yeah, as I said, he's had a pretty decent career. Our second centre-back on this list is actually going to be our first player in the squad that was part of both Adama Traore's first and second debut, as it is going to be 35-year-old Gerard Piqué, a man who's won a Euro and World Cup with Spain and married to Shakira, which, I mean, don't know which one I would say is a bigger achievement. I mean, I think I know which one I would choose.
I don't know. I think that's a bit dodgy, mate.
But of course, looking at Gerard Piqué, one of the most legendary centre-backs of the modern era of football. Actually, although he started off at the Barcelona Academy, he made a senior debut for Manchester United, a team where he won a Premier League and Champions League in the 2007-2008 season. Of course, returned to Barcelona, where he's almost had 400 appearances for the club, has won countless trophies, and as I said, one of the best centre-backs of the modern era, was part of Adama Traore's first and second debut for the club. I mean, the longevity of this man is insane. And now to finish off the defence from Adama Traore's first ever debut for the club, although you would assume it would be someone like Jordi Alba in the left-back position, in 2013, their left-back was actually the likes of Adriano, once again, another cult hero, if you may, one of the streets will never forget kind of players in football. Obviously, 37 years now, but one of the most versatile players in world football. Could play as a midfielder, could play on the left or right back side. Obviously, one counter English. Won a Copa America with Brazil, spent 11 years of his career playing in La Liga for both Sevilla and Barcelona, picking up countless trophies before moving on to the likes of Besiktas, where he then helped them win the Turkish league. He was most recently seen playing in the Belgian Pro League in 2021. Once again, one of those streets we'll never forget kind of players, and definitely a legend of the game, and not a bad way to end off this defense. Now jumping into the midfield trio from Adama Traore's first ever debut for the club, and it is a disgusting midfield. I mean, this midfield absolutely dominated world football, and I would argue it wasn't even Barcelona's best midfield at the time. But I mean, just jumping straight into it. Midfielder number one, now 34-year-old midfielder Cesc Fabregas, a man who got the assist for a winning goal in the 2010 World Cup. Obviously, as we know, is a player who came through the Barcelona academy, but just like Pique, started off his senior career in the Premier League, but this time for Arsenal, where obviously Cesc Fabregas spent 8 years at the Gunners and even captained them before 2011 moving to Barcelona for £30 million, where he won countless trophies, once again like majority of these players, and obviously moved back to the Premier League to one of Arsenal's biggest rivals. I think it definitely hurt Arsenal fans here and there.
Emotional damage!
When he moved back to Chelsea, where he won a Premier League, where he won an FA Cup, Cesc Fabregas had an absolutely marvelous career. Obviously 2019 moved to Monaco in the French league, where he is still enjoying his days nowadays, which, as I said, what a way to start off this midfield. The second midfielder, obviously talking about Cesc Fabregas getting the winning assist in a World Cup final, we've got now the player who scored the winning goal in that final versus the Netherlands. It is Andres Iniesta at 37 years old, along with Lionel Messi, might go down as the club's most legendary player of all time, with over 440 appearances for Barcelona. Once again, just an absolutely disgustingly good player. Will go down as a Barcelona legend. In fact, if you haven't heard the name of Andres Iniesta, you must be brand new to football. I mean, I shouldn't even have to describe how good he is. Obviously, the amount of trophies he won for club and country, it is absolutely disgusting. In 2018, left Barcelona for the first time in his career, is playing for Vissel Kobe in the Japanese league, where he's even picked up a trophy or two there. And I mean, as I said, just having Cesc Fabregas and Iniesta in your midfield alone should be good enough.
But wait, there's more!
But of course, ending off this Barcelona midfield from Adama's first debut at the club, the midfield just gets better, as it is going to be the second and final player in this team that was a part of both Adama Traore's first and second debut for the club, as it is going to be good old Sergio Busquets, one of the best defensive midfielder. Actually, no, I'll put this out there, maybe the best defensive midfielder from the last 15 years of football. Once again, over 430 appearances for Barcelona, is the current captain of both the Spanish national team and Barcelona, has won 32 trophies for club alone. Sergio Busquets, one of the best midfielders of all time, and to just finish off this midfield for Barcelona, what they had back then and the longevity of a player like him, 33 years old now, I mean, what an absolute beast. And I mean, looking at this Barcelona team from Adama Traore's first ever debut for the club, it is already insane, and I mean, nowadays could take most teams on. But of course, heading into the front three, it just gets better and better and better, because looking at the left wing position, we've got currently 34-year-old Pedro up front, which, yes, another player who has played for Chelsea, and I think we've definitely realized over the years that Chelsea definitely have some sort of fetish for Spanish players, which, I mean, not going to kink shame, what works, but
Naughty.
But obviously, looking at Pedro, he spent 11 years of his life playing for Barcelona. Through the academy, worked his way through the ranks, played for the senior team from 2004 all the way to 2015, won countless trophies at the club, obviously won countless trophies with the Spanish national team as well, like most of the players in the squad. Ended up moving to Chelsea, where he spent 5 years of his career picking up a Premier League, FA Cup and Europa League. Obviously moved to Roma in the Italian league, didn't have too much success there. Ended up making a move to Lazio, where this season has 7 goals and 4 assists in the Italian league, is having the time of his life, and yeah, not a bad player to have.
Not too shabby.
Moving on to the right wing side, before we talk about the striker position, the final position in the squad. In the right wing position 9 years ago was a man where, let's be honest, if you watch football, you know the name. It is going to be Alexis Sánchez, arguably the greatest Chilean footballer of all time, won 2 Copa Americas with Chile as their top goal scorer and appearance maker of all time. And obviously I would say maybe his most famous part of his career was between 2014 to 2018, where he played for Arsenal in the Premier League. Might go down as one of their best players of all time, although maybe they wouldn't like to admit that, because in 2018 he made a move to Arsenal rivals Manchester United. But obviously at Arsenal, I would say his time there, along with Eden Hazard at Chelsea, they were considered the two best players in the Premier League at that time. But obviously moving to Manchester United with Hendrik Mkhitaryan moving the other way to Arsenal, unfortunately it wasn't a move that worked out. He ended up making a move to Inter Milan, where he is today, and although isn't quite racking up the numbers, has played a crucial role in them winning a trophy here and there, and I don't think he's having too bad a time over there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, takes us to our final position, the striker position from Adama Traore's debut in his first ever Barcelona game. Actually a position where Adama Traore came on as a substitute in the 83rd minute, and he came on as a substitute for none other than Neymar. Yes, Neymar, one of the greatest footballers of our current generation, considered by many, along with Messi and Ronaldo, as the greatest footballer of this generation, has won an Olympic medal, is Brazil's top goal scorer of all time, which if you consider the names Ronaldinho, Brazilian Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Pele, some brilliant names there, Neymar will go down as a legend. Recently turned 30 years old. Obviously the amount of trophies he won at Barcelona, the amount of things he's won at PSG, which interestingly enough I just googled earlier on today, Neymar has spent a longer period of time now at PSG than he was at Barcelona, which is absolutely mental to think about. But obviously Neymar, an absolute legend of the game. For Adama Traore to make his debut as a substitute for Neymar, I mean, it's absolutely mental to think about. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is the starting 11 from Adama Traore's first ever debut for Barcelona 9 years ago. Obviously Adama Traore didn't start in this debut, he came on in the final 7 minutes, but what a squad that was. And obviously this video obviously says where they are today, and obviously an incredible team. Lots of them are still achieving many great things today. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I want you to tell me in the comment section down below, how well do you think Adama Traore will do at Barcelona? Do you think he'll help them achieve success once again, or do you think it's going to be a bit of a flop? Obviously it's only a 6-month loan until the end of the season, so a lot of hard work has to be done. But if there's any man who can do it, it will be Adama Traore. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Obviously subscribe if you are new to my channel, and hit the like button down below. And obviously if you guys have any video suggestions you want me to do in the future, make sure to go check out my Instagram. Obviously DM me video ideas, and I most likely will do them, obviously if I like them. But guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Finn, FYNN. Cheers.